Hi, my name's Pamela. I have, for most of my life, had some levels of interaction with my spirit. The spiritual me, and my spiritual guides. I remember from a child having dreams, consistently having dreams that came true, but I'd never tell anyone they came true because I didn't want to look like a freak. I remember at school, in my high school, I'd often have dreams, go into school and speak to my girlfriends about the dreams that I had, and their mouths would drop because it's exactly what had happened the day before or the 2 days before, which I was unaware of. It happened in various instances all through my life. I remember one time I actually stopped a person I was in a relationship with from having a car accident in his mother's Jag, because I dreamt the day before that he needed to go into another car because if he drove the Jag he'd have a car accident. These things all my life always made me a little afraid, well, very afraid to be totally honest, because I didn't understand what it was about. I thought there was something odd about me, something very, very peculiar that I was picking this up, and other people didn't. Then over time I started to explore more and more about what was going on. Why was I getting this? What was it all about? And I did a lot of things like, did a lot of women's workshops, a lot of tarot readings, astrology, numerology, went into the alternatives, healings, touch for health and aromatherapy, all those sorts of things, to find answers as to what was going on. And I did find a greater understanding of myself, and I found a greater peace in myself. But then there was always that someone outside of myself that was being something like my guru or had answers that they just couldn't tell me. There was always something more I was never allowed to understand because the power was in someone else's hands. Then I answered an ad in the local paper of a person who could do a orientation profile to show me or to help me get in touch with my guides. So I went and responded to this ad, thinking it was just another tarot reading. I could find out a little bit about my future. But in that hour that I spent with that person, he actually gave me the greatest gift of my life. Other than my husband and my child, they are perfect gifts. But the knowledge of myself and how to communicate with my spirit guides to help me in my everyday life with everything that I do is the best gift that I think I've ever received. From that point on, I went and worked with my spirit guides for a couple of months and just played around with it, put it aside sometimes, it's still a little too freaky. But every now and then when I was under a level of pressure, I'd do the cleansing technique, which also helped me to relax. And then I'd go and talk to my guidance and get some answers, and then started to play with it a little. It started to prove that it was right for me. I got my yes answers or no answers, and followed the answers they gave me to test it out to see if it worked. And then I got a phone call from the person who did the profile for me and said, "Hey, you doing anything tomorrow night?" I knew I was safe because he was gay. "But are you doing anything tomorrow night? There's group work on. Do you want to come and just see what it's like?" So I went along to this group work, and there was another 6 people there, and we were all as scared as each other. And we sat down and we just started to talk. And we started to talk a little bit more and more, and then we started to read this manual. And all of a sudden, we started to really, really connect, and really started to come out with things from our heart that none of us would ever have shared any other situation. And I realised that this is something I wanted more of. The more and more I did this group work, because it was 12 weeks worth of group work, the stronger and stronger I felt connected. Not with people, certainly with the people in the group, but more with myself. And I felt safe because I knew that the people in that group were in exactly the same boat that I was in. So we all continued through this group work for the 12 weeks. And we didn't ever have to see each other again, and that was fine. But we could if we wanted to. We didn't ever have to do anything else if we didn't want to. Some of them didn't, they went and did something else entirely. But we could if we wanted to. That was 20 years ago. 20 years later, I have done a lot of group work. I still keep in touch with some of those people from that first group work. I've led the group work for other people, and they still keep in touch with me. I hadn't seen someone for 17 years that I led a group work for. they contacted me through Facebook and said, when are you doing more group work? I miss it so much. I have gone to so many different things since then and do not have the same feeling that that group work gave me. What can I do? Where can I go to find something there? You know, they were in Sydney at the time. Where can I go to be able to do that group work and do more work with this program? So I gave her the details of people in the area. As time progressed with my learning of myself, doing the various group works, different courses that are available, I actually became a professional counsellor. So in doing all the spiritual profiles. The profiles aren't just the first profile, the orientation profile that introduces me or you to your spirit guides. There's profiles that help you to deal with things that stop you from achieving what you want in your life. They're called blockage profiles. And we take you back through 7-year cycles of your life as to what is going on in those cycles and various points in those cycles that pinpoint it, and show you where it all comes back from by taking you further and further back. So you see the pattern and understand where it's come from and realise, you know, is it yours or does it belong to someone else and you just ended up living it your whole life. There's also one of the other profiles that I do is a glandular therapy profile. That's a profile that actually helps you to clear your chakras. And it's also about looking at what problems you're dealing with at the moment and helping you to move those by helping you deal with whatever the concept or misunderstanding is of that area, and doing a physical technique to help you move that actual blockage in your glandular therapy, in your chakra. There's many profiles that can be done. They're all one-on-one, and they're always deep and a beautiful healing profile, every profile that's available. The amount of things that you can learn about yourself by doing this program is up to you. You do as much or as little as you want. You don't have to do anything for years, 10, 20 years if you don't want to. I've had people come up to me that have had profiles done by people in Hawaii 30 years ago. And they've come back and said, hey, I had that done 30 years ago. I've still got the profile somewhere. I'd really want to get back involved. And these are people who've done things like psychiatry and as in educated in psychiatry and counselled other people for years, but still haven't been able to come back and been able to find that place within them that is as peaceful as when they do this program. If you'd like to learn more about what's available for you, just go on to www.mymomentum.com.au and have a read, and then contact us, because we're a lot of fun. Thank you.